you are on.
All right, so I actually brought her up for another reason, but we might as well start another whole video. What the hell? There's not much to do this time of year, you know, so you know that people actually want to watch. Okay, so you remember I put this fence up, and I built, and I told you it can take as long to skin them as it does to build something. So then what happens is, if you're smart, or even if you're a dumbass like me,
No.
what you do is every time you think about it, and especially this time of year, and I'll tell you why, but every time you think about it, you're farting around, you just peel off a little bit more, because once it sets for a while, it actually comes off easier. In fact, give this another 6 months and it'll peel off even easier. But you can see I can get some whole sections out. And what it does is it makes fucking excellent kindling. So this time of year,
Yeah.
you know, with the fire going and everything, it's nice to have some hot stuff, and this stuff is super hot. So like in the morning when you're trying to restart that fire, you're putting wood in on the coals, it just helps. And you're getting the fence peeled. Eventually the whole thing will be peeled. It'll probably take years, but eventually I'll peel it all off. And like I said, this is the time of year I usually do it, because guess what? I can use that to burn.
Just this past spring, she and Meyer sat over at the other place, distance visiting, and we're peeling it off from underneath the picnic tables she built the year before.
Yeah, we peeled an entire picnic table in about a half an hour between the two of us, just sitting there bullshitting, because we're both kind of workaholics.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder where he learned it.
Yeah, we're kind of workaholics, so the whole just sitting doing nothing thing doesn't really work. But you can see, I'm just taking that same knife that I was using, and any kind of little knife or anything.
Just to get under the bark.
Like when Meyer and I were doing it, we were both doing it with our pocket knives. So it's just something to get it up, because then it'll peel off. You can see, you can just get whole sections of it. Okay, so, yeah, that's, so.
And why do you have to get the bark off?
Because the bark is, underneath the bark can be a place for bugs.
Oh, okay.
And you want to get rid of the bugs, and you want it to last as long as possible. And the bark also, bark is on a tree for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is it retains water.
Right.
So when the bark is on the wood, it's going to retain more moisture than it would if the bark is off of there. So, and in fact, a lot of times if it's just rained, you'll do this, and it'll really peel off quick because
it's full of water.
It's full of water. But at any rate, so that's something you can do as you think about it. You just peel it off, make a pile
And then you
of it.
end up with a nice pile of kindling.
I'll put that in my bucket. You see, okay, so I've got some long pieces, got short pieces, but here's the thing about the long pieces. Okay, so I'll show you real quick. Okay, so just basically if I bundle this all up like this, it makes it easier to do. And then I just take it and fold it
In stove-sized pieces.
into the length of the stove. Now I have a whole bundle of stuff.
Yep.
And I just take that piece of bundle in the morning and put it in there. Not that I have any trouble. One of these days, because it was one of those things that I realized that I take for granted anybody can do, one of these days I would like to make one of these on how to keep a fire. Okay? Most of what I do to keep a fire going happens in the morning, and my wife doesn't get up till 10, 11 o'clock.
Your wife will get up for a video.
Yeah.
I will. Tell me you need it.
Okay. Okay, so I wanted to show you another thing I like about this shape and style of knife. That end is not sharp, by the way. Okay, so one of the things I like about it is it'll sit in my pocket flat, and I don't have to worry about if I fall, it's going to cut me.
Right, right,
You know, so, and I don't have to worry about losing it when I'm in the pasture.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
but there was something I didn't show you on the bamboo that I wanted to show you, and I did show it to you, but then I realized I didn't say why.
Right.
Okay, when you're cutting the nubs off, see how that's all messy and nasty? That's because I cut it with the branch.
Right.
You'll notice how those are all flat. So what you want to do is you want to cut away from the branch, and then, I don't know if I can do it when it's that short. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you want to cut it away, and then it'll take the nub right off. Okay? Okay. And this, now, this is very fun. And like I said, one of these days I'll burn a brush pile and I'll show you just exactly what bamboo does. Anybody who's ever burnt bamboo in a brush pile, first time they did it, they like to shit themselves because it sounds like fireworks.
Oh.
Okay, this little part here, if you keep the nubs solid, that's hollow. And when it gets hot, it explodes.
Because of the air gets hot.
The air gets exploded. So me and my son came up with this idea. You know, my son, the genius. We were talking about it, and I said, you know, it'd be perfect if you were going into the woods to camp in an area where there are bears and mountain lions. We have both here, not very many, but we have more bears now than we do mountain lions, but we have both here. So if you were in the woods hunting, if you took a half a dozen of these with you, then, especially if you got the bigger ones, like these, will really go boom.
I imagine so.
This one will make a nice little 22 pop. It'll sound like a 22 going off. But this one, like if you cut it here, and you had a bunch of these to take hunting, you had a booger coming near you, you had to throw in there and go, BAM! Bam-o! What can I say? In Arkansas, that's what passes for amusement. You know, that's a big day. It's kind of like going to the scrap yard. When we go to the scrap yard, you take all your metal scrap that's not worth a shit because, you know, you're keeping the good stuff.
Right.
You take all your metal scrap that isn't worth a shit, you take it to the scrap yard, they weigh your truck, you unload your shit, they weigh it again, and they give you money for your trash. It's
Makes you all
brings a tear to the eye. It's the best thing ever. That and bubble gum.
So that's where the waffle iron's going. The old waffle iron. There's
The old
two
waffle
pieces.
iron. Yeah, so I'll take all that stuff to the scrap yard and.
We'll have to go with you on a trip to the scrapyard and tape that when
My
it's
nose
time.
is snotty. Look at this is what sleeves are for. Oh, a history lesson. Do you know why Catherine the Great put buttons up the sleeves of the officers' uniforms?
Why?
To keep them from wiping snot on their sleeves.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I actually believe you because you know more about that kind of stuff than I have ever studied.
It's not that I won't make shit up, because we all know I will make shit up. But yes, I read that. Yeah, that's why she did it, to keep them from rubbing their freaking noses on their sleeves.
I believe
and
it.
getting snot all over everything.
I believe it.
Because let's face it, what does it do in Russia? It's freaking cold.
Cold. Then,
Yeah.
then noses run.
Cold and your nose runs. There you
There
go.
you go.
So
Okay.
during COVID, everybody's going to put buttons on their sleeve.
Yeah.
I did. I might have told you this already, because I think it's a beauty idea, by the way. The fucking neighbor's cat is always coming up on the freaking porch, and he pisses on the plastic container I keep our cat's food in.
Yeah, he sprays it.
Right? He sprays it. So then I pick it up to feed the cat, and my hand smells like piss, no matter how many times I wash for the rest of the day. And you know what it does? It keeps me from touching my face. So during COVID, when we're having so much trouble keeping from touching our face, just rub cat piss on your hands.
You won't touch your face
Then
again.
you won't touch your face all day.
Or any other part of your body forever.
There you go. This is why you're watching, because I'm teaching you how to live.
There you go.
Until next time, don't let the screen door hit you where the good Lord split you.